Alright, here we go. I'm back again. I've got my fancy shirt on so you know that this is official. This is official advice, official financial advice. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about how the previous spike in the Bitcoin price might actually look kind of similar to what we're experiencing right now. You know, back in 2021, there was this big spike and a little dip back down and then another spike up, and then came the big crash, and that's kind of what we're seeing right now. You know, we got this big jump up to $100,000 of Bitcoin, right around there, dipped down to like 85,000. We're back up to a new all-time high today at around $109,000 right now, 109,500, whatever. And I remember looking at that trend earlier, you know, the dip and the recovery before it hit an all-time high, and being a little nervous because of the similarity. But I looked into some of the factors that contributed to the previous spike and crash, and I want to compare them in this video to what's going on right now. So previously we had COVID going on, and we had really low interest rates. And part of my theory is that that contributed to the hype. It helped allocate resources into Bitcoin that otherwise might not have been there. And those people that were putting those resources there did not necessarily believe in it intellectually. They were more being speculative and doing that sort of thing. Additionally, there was the FTX disaster that led, in my opinion, largely to the crash. It's possible there were some people, you know, selling because they were just kind of managing assets and didn't necessarily believe in the long-term viability of Bitcoin as a store of value. But now we have something much different than that going on right now, you know, excluding the fact that there's unlikely to be another FTX crash situation. We have people that appear to truly be believing in the viability of Bitcoin, putting large amounts of money into it. So if we look at what someone like Michael Saylor is doing, you know, it's a lot different than what you saw with different things like meme coins or like, you know, digital art on the Ethereum blockchain, that sort of stuff. Because those people, first of all, were celebrities that were, you know, kind of cool, right? I mean, Michael Saylor's not really cool, you know. He's not like a YouTube guy that's doing things. He's not some kind of influencer on TikTok. He's just a finance guy. And he's just telling you intellectual facts about what makes something a good store of value. And then after telling you his explanation for why he's buying it, he's actually backing that up with actions. You don't really see someone that's going to pump and dump their asset or their thing, like has happened with different meme coins and has happened with different digital art, shady things. You don't see them buy billions of dollars more of that thing as it's approaching a new all-time high. I mean, he bought billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin when it hit $103,000 a coin. So, you know, that's part of the reason I'm not nervous. I'm not planning to sell right now. And I'm not really planning to sell for a long time. Because the market cap of Bitcoin right now is like 2.1 trillion or something. And that's pretty close to the market cap of Amazon, which is just a single company. And if you think about it, you know, Bitcoin is not a single US company. It's sort of a global phenomenon. And it's going to continue to grow, in my opinion. So, you know, I continue to be pretty bullish. I continue to be confident. I kind of look at it sort of like that cave from Aladdin. You know, I don't remember what it's called, but they go into the cave and there's all this treasure. And then there is that ruby at the end of the tunnel that the monkey ends up grabbing before they can get to the genie. And I think that's kind of a good analogy for Bitcoin right now, because if you grab the treasure and you sell right now, you could very well be trapped in a cave of regret when the price continues to rise in the longer term. You know, obviously people that bought Bitcoin and sold at the peak at around $60,000 and avoided that dip afterward felt really good about it in the short term because they secured some gains and whatnot. But if you ride the wave in the long term, in my opinion, you know, I think it's going to turn out well for you. And if you continue to buy after it dips down, and it's not really like some of these other assets when you truly understand it. When you read some books about it, when you read things like the Bitcoin Standard, when you think about monetary policy, when you look at what the dollar really is and think about questions like, why does the dollar have value in the first place? It's not backed by anything. People say things like Bitcoin has no intrinsic value, and then they act like the dollar does. I mean, what are you going to do with dollar bills? And frankly, no one even has dollar bills anymore. I mean, all the money is really stored online anyway in different banking systems and stuff. So that's really all I have. I just wanted to talk about the spike and continue with my daily videos. Right now, they're not planned out as much. I'm kind of just throwing out different thoughts at you in my messy apartment as I'm moving. In the future, I'm planning to really kind of think through my topics more. But right now, I'm just kind of shooting in one take, saying what I think, and I'll just leave it there for right now. Tell me what you think.